This story here is a famous story. I mean, I'm assuming this looks like pretty well researched. It's again a story from the Matal Kazliner, and there's dimensions to it. To tell you as it is, this is in Vitebsk, before Menachem Mendel had a doctor. Later he lived in Horodok, but first he was from Vitebsk. This is before he was Nizgal as the great Rebbe and Tzaddik. So there was a tailor. There's many versions to this. No one here sitting at the table remembers the memorable Fabrengen with in our sukkah. This is 30 years ago, or 25 years ago, with Shalom Duchman. At any rate, so there was Chaim de Gedenk. There was a tailor. There was a Schneider. And what's the story with the Schneider, this tailor? He did everything he wanted to do. So he brings in a footnote here that we heard, he says, from Rab Mendel Futterfass, another kind of version to the story defining this tailor, that he was a Grobjung. He was, what was he, Grobjung? Grobjung means literally
most of us know what a Grobjung is.
Unrefined. He did anything, whatever he wanted, he did. He said Rab Mendel, doesn't mean he didn't daven, he didn't learn. On the contrary, he learned and he davened. And Rab Mendel means this as a chassid. It's just he did what he wanted to do. And what he did what he wanted to do, and what he didn't want to do, he didn't do. You looked at the guy, it was picture perfect. Yeah, but he did what he wanted to do, and he didn't want to do, he didn't do. So Rab Mendel, when he told the story, he said, and that's a Chassidic Grobjung. The Grobjung is indulgent and a balaveda. No, I want to do what I want to do. So, back to the story. So this is already a very high level of this tailor, but the way that the Matal Kazliner tells us a little bit, it seems, the context, that he was more literally, on a more literal level, not such a pious fellow. One thing he had going for him. He looked after Rab Mendel. It seems Rab Mendel was davening and learning, and he was not shayches to havayis of Elam Hazeh, and this guy made sure that he had food and rent, whatever, he took care of him. Wasn't asked to, he did everything. And one day, so he died. He died. The tailor of Vitebsk. Rab Mendel, as they called him, Rab Mendel heard this. So when he heard about it, it was already after the tahar and after burial. It's unbelievable, we're just learning now about burial. This amazing story. But Rab Mendel opens up his cave, instructs, and he himself makes the kavoda. He took about his tachrichim, he made him new tachrichim, he made the tahara, and he buried him again. After burying him, he made a circle around, I don't know exactly how he did it, a circle around his kever, that the malachei hachabola, the destructive angels that we create in our lifetime, a person dies, you're ours, we'll accompany you, we're your escort, we're your entourage. So he made a circle, I don't know exactly how, but that they shouldn't approach him, to protect him. He went up protected. Matal Kazliner concludes the story here, this from Chassidim. There was a big tumult in heaven over this, like they were furious. He's interfering. The Malachim are coming, doing their job, and he's holding them off. And what was his punishment? That he had to be in his gala. The Rab Mendel, the Menachem Mendel, Viteb had to be in his gala, and he could no longer serve God as he was doing so in complete incognito. There are many dimensions to the story, but the one that strikes me is that you have to have a schus. This tailor, whatever he was, Rab Mendel's level, this level, he had a chush. He said, this yid over here, you're going to support him. Before he was the big Rebbe. So, and that was enough. I mean, a big thing, he supported him. That was enough that he redid his whole tahara. So it's kind of a little iskashus thing, kind of. you're connected in the right place, and metut. Begashmis. Tomach v'zong, you gave money in it. From the Rebbe Sinyonim. I'm not saying this is your ticket to paradise and don't do anything else. I'm not suggesting that. But there's something to be learned from here. And we find many times stories like this that, I'll just conclude. I remember that it was a Fabrengen, it's late. It was the Sheva Brachas of Zayins, our friend Zayins. He married Farkash. Anyway, Barry Farkash was here. No, it was about mitzvah. He's a shliach in Issaquah. He was sitting and he was saying, put it in context. We're like the soldier trains and trains in the front line, especially in World War I. You could be there for days and weeks without anything. But then, what do you train for? This one moment, fire. And you have to have the schus to know to be there. You train a whole life that at one time you shoot. That's what you're needed for. And sit there in the trenches and in the cold and the rain and so on for this one moment. And don't lose it. And you never know when that moment is. And it could be many such, but that's kind of what this story is conveying. Okay.